How did a girl from a small island become one of the richest women in the world?
I am true to my music, and I just want people to realize that and appreciate me for that.
She started with no money, just a dream and a voice. Today, she's a billionaire.
The Grammy goes to
Rihanna.
But here's the twist. She didn't get rich from singing.
The singer-turned-entrepreneur is worth an estimated $1.4 billion.
Nope, she didn't need to drop a new album every year. She didn't let the music industry control her. Instead, she flipped the script. She took control of her future, and she did it in a way no one saw coming. This is not just a story about music. It's about power. It's about business. It's about how Rihanna outsmarted the music industry and built a billion-dollar empire on her own terms. Get ready, because what you're about to hear will change how you look at fame, business, and maybe even your own dreams. So, on a small island called Barbados, a little girl named Rihanna Fenty dreamed big. She wasn't born rich.
In Barbados, I was living a very normal, simple life. I moved to New York to pursue a career and to live a dream.
In fact, she shared a room with her two brothers in a small house. Life was tough. Her dad had a hard time with drugs and alcohol, and her parents often fought.
Fridays were the scariest because he'd come home drunk. He would get paid and half of it would go towards alcohol. The moment he walked through the door, all eyes were on him.
Music became her escape. It made her feel strong and happy. Rihanna started singing at a young age. She would sing at school and in front of the mirror, pretending to be a star. She loved reggae and pop music, and her voice was special, bold and full of feeling. One day, everything changed. Rihanna was just 15 years old when she met a music producer visiting Barbados. He heard her sing and was amazed. He told her, "You need to come to the United States." So she did. She left her home, her family, and her island to chase a dream.
When I left Barbados, I didn't look back. I wanted to do what I had to do, even if it meant moving to America.
In America, she met Jay-Z, one of the biggest names in music. He worked at a company called Def Jam. When he heard Rihanna sing, he didn't want to let her go. Legend says Jay-Z even locked the office door until she signed a contract. That's how much he believed in her.
He said something about a window and a door.
Oh, then he said, he did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
Soon after, her first big song came out, Pawn to Replay. It was a hit. People loved her style, her accent, her energy. She was fresh and different. Rihanna became famous almost overnight. But fame didn't mean freedom. Like many young stars, Rihanna didn't fully own her music. Her record label made big decisions for her. They chose what songs she sang. They picked how she looked. They even decided when she could release music. Rihanna was working non-stop, touring, recording, doing interviews. She was a star, but she wasn't fully in control. She started to feel trapped. This wasn't the dream she imagined. Rihanna knew she had to do something, and that's when the smart moves began. First, she looked at what was happening around her. Many singers were getting rich, but not all of them stayed rich. Why? Because the music industry can be tricky. You can be famous and still not make much money. Labels, managers, and companies take big cuts of the earnings. Rihanna didn't want to be just a singer. She wanted to be a boss. So, she started learning. She paid attention to business. She watched how deals were made. She asked questions. She stayed sharp. And slowly, she started to build her own empire. This is the story of how Rihanna turned the game around. How she stopped being just a singer and became a billionaire. Not by chance, but by being smart, brave, and bold. Stay with us, because this story is just getting started. After years of working hard in music, Rihanna started asking herself a big question. What happens if I stop singing? She knew that music was fun, but it couldn't last forever. What if her voice got tired? What if people stopped listening? She needed a backup plan. She needed something that would give her power, even when she wasn't on stage. That's when Rihanna began to look at business in a new way. She noticed that people loved the way she dressed. They copied her makeup, her clothes, her hair. Everywhere she went, fans wanted to look like her. Rihanna saw this as a chance. not just to inspire people, but to build something bigger. So, in 2017, she made a bold move. She started her own beauty brand called Fenty Beauty.
Y'all know how obsessed I am with Kilowatt Highlighter. It's one of the first products that I've ever launched for Fenty Beauty.
Now, this wasn't just any makeup company. Rihanna wanted to do something different. She remembered how hard it was for her and other women with darker skin to find makeup that matched their tone. Most makeup brands had only a few shades for brown or black skin. Rihanna changed that. Fenty Beauty launched with 40 different foundation shades, from very light to very dark. No one had done that before. It was a huge moment in the beauty world.
Now that they have recognized the spending power of Black women, they are keen to make money from it. On the other hand, I know of brands that claim inclusivity but will refuse to carry a line targeting darker skin tones because it's not really our customer. There are others that sell themselves as champions of diversity, but the second the image of a darker skin model on their Instagram feed doesn't rack up likes, they delete it and go back to a homogenous sea.
People of all colors felt seen. They felt important. They felt beautiful. Fenty Beauty wasn't just popular, it exploded. In the first month alone, the brand made over $100 million.
To say that Fenty Beauty completely changed the beauty industry is no exaggeration. Undoubtedly, there are many who will attribute the success of Fenty to the fact that its founder is Rihanna, already a hugely influential superstar with a phenomenal fan base, and of course combined with the backing of LVMH.
People ran to stores. Makeup sold out fast. And guess what? Rihanna owned a big part of the company. That meant the money came to her, not to a label or a manager. She wasn't just the face of the brand, she was the boss. This was the moment people realized. Rihanna wasn't just a pop star anymore. She was a businesswoman, a smart one. But she didn't stop there. She looked at the fashion world and saw the same problem. Many brands didn't include all sizes or styles. So Rihanna started Savage X Fenty, a lingerie line for all body types. Whether someone was thin, curvy, or somewhere in between, they could feel confident in her clothes.
My vision for the Savage X brand has always been having women feel confident.
Her fashion shows were different too. She didn't just have models walk up and down the runway. She created a whole performance. Music, dance, energy. Everyone was talking about it. Even people who didn't wear lingerie started paying attention. In a world where most brands focused on a perfect look, Rihanna celebrated real people, and that made her millions of fans love her even more. By now, she wasn't just selling music or makeup. She was selling a message. You matter. You belong. You are beautiful just as you are. And that message made her millions. Soon, billions. But how much did she really make? And what made her different from other celebrities? By now, Rihanna had two powerful brands, Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty, and both were doing amazing. But let's talk about the money. In 2021, a big report came out. It said Rihanna was officially a billionaire. Yes, that's with a B.
Rihanna's worth $1 billion!
Rihanna is a billionaire. She is worth $1.7 billion. The richest female musician ever.
Most of that money didn't come from singing. It came from her businesses. Let's break it down. Fenty Beauty was worth about $2.8 billion. Rihanna owned almost half of it. That means her part alone was worth more than $1.4 billion. Savage X Fenty, her fashion brand, was worth about $1 billion. And Rihanna owned a chunk of that too. Now think about this. Many singers only make money from their songs, shows, or brand deals. But Rihanna? She created products that kept selling day and night, even when she was sleeping. This is called passive income. It's when money keeps coming in without you working every second for it. Rihanna had figured that out. She also made smart decisions about who to work with. When she started Fenty Beauty, she teamed up with a company called LVMH.
I've never done something like this high-end, and with a team this big and fat. I mean, LVMH is like, they're a machine. It's a monster of a machine. So working with them, you can only expect the best.
Which owns big luxury brands like Louis Vuitton and Dior. But she didn't just work for them, she worked with them. That's a big difference. Working for someone means they're the boss. but working with someone means you're equals. Rihanna made sure she kept power and ownership. That way, when the company made money, she made money too. She also didn't rush. She took her time to build her brands the right way. She picked the right partners, used smart marketing, and made products people actually needed. That's why her brands lasted. They weren't just a trend. But maybe the smartest thing Rihanna did was this. She stayed quiet. While other celebrities talked about every business move, Rihanna kept working in silence. She let the results speak for themselves. One day, people just woke up and realized, wait, Rihanna's not just a pop star, she's a billionaire. And she never stopped being herself. She stayed true to her roots. She stayed real with her fans. She didn't try to copy anyone else. And that made people trust her. Trust is a big deal in business. When people trust you, they buy from you. Rihanna used her fame to start something bigger. She didn't just want to be in the spotlight. She wanted to own the stage. And she did. But this success didn't come easy. There were challenges, risks, and hard choices. In the next part, we'll look at the tough moments Rihanna faced and how she handled them like a true boss. Even though Rihanna became super successful, the road wasn't always smooth. Behind the glam and glitter were real struggles. One of the biggest challenges Rihanna faced was burnout. For years, she worked nonstop. From 2005 to 2012, she released an album almost every single year. That's like running a marathon without a break. She was recording songs, doing concerts, interviews, photo shoots. It was never ending. Her fans loved the music, but Rihanna was getting tired. She needed time to rest and think. So after her 2016 album Anti
was the first time that I took my time making an album while not being on tour. And that frustrated my fans a bit, and here I am doing it again to them. But Anti, for sure, top favorite album I've ever made.
She made a bold move. She hit pause on music. Some people didn't understand. Why isn't Rihanna releasing new songs? They asked. But Rihanna wasn't being lazy. She was being smart. She knew she had to protect her energy and focus on her new business dreams. During this time, Rihanna also had to deal with pressure from the media. Every time she was seen in public, people made comments about her body, her relationships, and her choices. That can be really tough, even for someone famous. But instead of hiding, Rihanna stayed strong. She spoke up about body confidence. She showed people that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. Her fashion shows included women of all colors, sizes, and backgrounds. She was creating a new kind of beauty, one that made everyone feel included. Another big challenge came with her fashion brand. In 2019, Rihanna partnered again with LVMH to launch Fenty, a luxury fashion label. It was the first time a Black woman led a brand under the powerful LVMH group.
Her luxury fashion brand is partnering with LVMH Moet Hennessy, which is the largest luxury goods company in the world. So this deal makes Rihanna the first woman of color to lead the LVMH label, which puts her name next to some of the biggest fashion names in the industry.
That was historic, but luxury fashion is tricky. It's expensive, risky, and fast-changing. After a while, Rihanna and LVMH decided to pause the Fenty fashion line in 2021. Some people called it a failure, but Rihanna didn't. She said, "It's okay to try something, learn from it, and move forward." And that's exactly what she did. Instead of letting one setback stop her, she focused on what was working: Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty. She doubled down on her strengths. That's another smart move successful people make. They don't let one no stop them from getting a bigger yes. Also, while all of this was happening, Rihanna was helping people too. In 2012, she started the Clara Lionel Foundation, named after her grandparents. This group gives money and support to people affected by poverty, disasters, and health problems around the world.
Around the world, families are torn apart by conflict, poverty, gender inequality, and ineffective public policy, preventing more than 250 million children accessing their right to an education. At CLF, we believe in the power of having local, lasting impact. That's why we partner with organizations embedded in the communities where they work to identify needs and fill gaps.
So, while Rihanna was building wealth, she was also giving back. That's what makes her story even more inspiring. She wasn't perfect, she had ups and downs, but she kept going. She made mistakes, but she learned from them. She stayed focused on her goals, and through it all, she never stopped believing in herself. Rihanna wasn't just a singer, a makeup mogul, or a fashion boss. She had become a symbol of something much bigger. She showed the world that you don't have to follow the rules to succeed. You can make your own path. Young people around the world started looking up to her, not just because of her style or songs, but because of her mindset. She taught us that it's okay to slow down and focus on yourself. When everyone was asking, "Where's the new album?" Rihanna was quietly building a billion-dollar empire. She was showing that your value isn't just in what people see, it's also in what you build behind the scenes. And she didn't follow trends. She made her own. Most celebrities only lend their names to products. A company makes something, puts a famous face on it, and hopes it sells. But Rihanna didn't do that. She helped create her products from the ground up. She was part of every choice. From the shades in her makeup line to the models in her shows. People could feel that. It was real. That's why her fans supported her so strongly. Even in interviews, Rihanna spoke in a way that made people feel like she was just being herself. She didn't act perfect. She laughed, she joked, and she kept it honest. That made her even more powerful because being real is rare in a world full of filters. Rihanna also helped change how the beauty and fashion industries treat people. Before her, many brands ignored people with darker skin tones or different body shapes. After Rihanna's success, that started to change. Other companies began to copy her style. More shades, more sizes, more diversity.
There's so many colors, so many options, so many ways to create looks. Now I'm making makeup that I dream of teenagers to wear. Women of all ages, all size, all skin tones, all religions, all cultures. I wanted women to feel included. I have 100% involvement in this process. I had so much freedom in creating whatever.
She didn't just join the industry, she forced it to grow, and she did it without shouting. She led by example. Her influence even went into big places like schools and business meetings. People started talking about the Rihanna effect. This meant creating products that include everyone, not just a few. It meant being bold, being smart, and standing for something good. And guess what? She did all of this before turning 35. That's the kind of impact most people never make in a lifetime. But Rihanna did it by being fearless, focused, and full of heart. So, what can we learn from her? You don't need to be born rich. You don't need to wait for permission, and you definitely don't need to stick to just one thing. You can be an artist, a leader, a business owner, and more, just like Rihanna. So, where's Rihanna now? Well, even though she's not dropping albums every year like before, she's still everywhere. She's still running her businesses, making smart moves, and changing the world in quiet, powerful ways. In 2022, Rihanna made a big return to music, but not in the way people expected. She performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, one of the biggest stages in the world. Millions of people watched her shine again, and guess what? She did it while pregnant with her second child. That moment was bold, powerful, and unforgettable.
The superstar revealing she's pregnant with her second child in front of a packed stadium during the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. Platform in the sky while singing and dancing her way through the biggest hits of her career.
It reminded everyone, Rihanna is still a star, and she does things her own way. But music isn't her only focus now. Rihanna continues to grow her brands. Fenty Beauty keeps launching new products, and Savage X Fenty keeps breaking the rules in fashion. There are whispers that she may expand into skincare, baby products, or even something totally new. And because it's Rihanna, whatever she does next will probably be a huge success. People also wonder, will Rihanna ever release another full album? She says she wants to, but she's not rushing. She wants it to feel right. She's said in interviews that she's always working on music in the background. So fans, stay hopeful. But Rihanna knows her time is valuable. She's not just making songs, she's making moves. And that's what makes her special. She doesn't follow the music industry's old rules anymore. She doesn't let people pressure her to stay in her lane. She's shown the world that a singer can be more than just a voice. A woman can be a CEO. A pop star can be a billionaire. And you can do all that while staying true to yourself. Rihanna is proof that you can start with nothing and build something incredible. Her story is not just about money. It's about courage, vision, and freedom. She had the courage to walk away from things that didn't serve her. She had the vision to see what people needed and gave it to them. And she created freedom for herself and others by owning her work, her time, and her power. And the best part? Rihanna is still young. Her story isn't over. In fact, it's probably just getting started. Maybe she'll release new music. Maybe she'll build another brand. Maybe she'll help even more people through her foundation. Whatever she does, we'll be watching. Because Rihanna isn't just a singer. She's a boss, a builder, a change maker. And most of all, she's a reminder that you don't need to wait for someone to open the door for you. You can build your own door, walk through it, and then turn around and hold it open for others. That's what Rihanna did. And that's why she didn't just beat the music industry. She outsmarted it and built a billion-dollar legacy on her own terms. If Rihanna's story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories of people who changed the game. See you in the next one.